They said Marcus Bell didn't cry when his brother died. That's what the neighbors whispered. That's what the headlines implied. But grief doesn't always scream. Sometimes it goes quiet, sits in your chest, and waits. Marcus learned that the night his younger brother Eli Bell was pronounced dead on the cold linoleum floor of County General Hospital. Eli was 17, skinny, soft-spoken, the kind of kid teachers forgot to mark absent because he tried so hard not to be noticed. And the man responsible for his death? Captain Ronald Hargreave, decorated police officer, community hero, a man who believed fear was the same thing as respect. This is a story about power and what happens when it finally shifts. Eli had been arrested for shoplifting, 2 candy bars and a soda. The store clerk called it theft. Hargreave called it a lesson waiting to be taught. According to the official report, Eli was non-compliant. According to witnesses, Eli was crying. Marcus wasn't there. He was working the night shift at a warehouse, loading trucks, breaking his back for minimum wage. By the time his phone buzzed with missed calls, his brother was already handcuffed in the back of a patrol car. Inside the precinct, the cameras conveniently malfunctioned. What happened next would later be described by Captain Hargreave as discipline. Eli was taken into an interrogation room, alone. No lawyer, no parent, no rights read aloud. Just a powerful man with a badge and a belief that boys like Eli needed to be broken before they became criminals. Hargreave struck him again and again. By the time paramedics arrived, Eli wasn't breathing. The police press conference was quick and clean. Tragic incident. Officer followed protocol. Medical complications. Marcus watched it on a cracked phone screen, standing outside the hospital morgue. He didn't scream. He didn't punch walls. He just stared because somewhere deep inside, something was hardening. At the funeral, Captain Hargreave sat in the front row in full uniform. That was the cruelest part. He shook Marcus's hand afterward, looked him in the eye and said, "Your brother made bad choices. I tried to help him." That was when Marcus realized the truth. This man wasn't afraid, and fear was the only language power ever understood. Everyone underestimated Marcus Bell. He wasn't loud. He wasn't educated. He didn't have money or connections. Just a quiet man with calloused hands and a dead brother whose bruises didn't match the story. The internal affairs investigation was closed within 3 weeks. No wrongdoing found. But Marcus kept digging. He talked to the janitor who cleaned the interrogation rooms. He tracked down a rookie officer who quit 2 days after Eli's arrest. He found hospital staff who whispered about broken ribs and internal bleeding that didn't come from medical complications. And slowly, painfully, a pattern emerged. Eli wasn't the first. There were others, mostly poor, mostly young, mostly black, all disciplined, all silenced. Captain Hargreave had built a career on fear, and the city rewarded him for it until Marcus found the flash drive. It was hidden inside an old locker, sold at a police surplus auction. A former officer, drowning in guilt, slipped Marcus a note with an address and one sentence: "If anything happens to me, make this public." The flash drive contained body cam backups, footage the department claimed didn't exist. Eli's last moments were there. The begging, the coughing, the final broken words, "I can't breathe." Marcus watched the video once. That was enough. He didn't go to the police. He went to the public. On a Sunday night, when the city was quiet and distracted, Marcus sent the footage to every news outlet in the state. He uploaded it anonymously. He waited. By morning, the city was on fire. Protests flooded the streets. The mayor issued statements. The department went silent. Captain Ronald Hargreave was arrested on live television. The same man who once said, "Discipline builds character," now stood in cuffs. Pale and trembling, the power had shifted. At the trial, Marcus finally spoke. He didn't shout. He didn't accuse. He just told the truth. And the truth was heavier than any lie Hargreave had ever told. The verdict came back. Guilty. The courtroom erupted. Justice at last felt real. Marcus walked outside, breathing air that felt lighter than it had in months. For the first time since Eli died, he allowed himself to cry. But justice has layers, and as Marcus stood alone on the courthouse steps, his phone buzzed. Unknown number. One message. Do you think he acted alone? Attached was a photo, another interrogation room, another date, another name. Marcus looked up at the courthouse, at the flags waving calmly, above a system that had almost swallowed the truth. Captain Hargreave was just one man. The machine was still running, and Marcus Bell had just scratched the surface. The machine doesn't forgive. The message didn't come again, but it didn't need to. It lived in Marcus Bell's head, repeating itself in the quiet moments, growing louder when the city pretended everything was over. Captain Ronald Hargreave had been convicted, sentenced, paraded as proof that the system worked. The headlines moved on. The protests thinned. Donations slowed. Justice, they said, had been served. But Marcus knew better. Systems don't protect themselves by accident. They do it by design. 2 nights after the verdict, Marcus's apartment door was kicked in. Not robbed. Searched. Drawers dumped, mattress slashed, walls punched open like someone was hunting for a secret. They didn't find the flash drive. Marcus had learned that lesson early. Power always comes back for receipts. The next morning, the janitor who'd spoken to Marcus was found dead in his car. Official cause, heart attack. 46 years old, no history. The rookie officer who quit, missing his social media wiped clean like he'd never existed. Marcus felt the shift again, but this time, it wasn't in his favor. He went underground, changed phones, slept on couches, kept his head down while keeping his eyes open. And then the envelope arrived. No return address. Inside, photocopies of sealed internal memos, a list of payouts labeled training, incidents, and a symbol. Stamped in the corner of every page. A trident. It wasn't just Hargreave, it was a unit. They called themselves the Discipline Committee, off the books, above review. Their job wasn't law enforcement, it was control. When a city needed to be reminded who ran it, they delivered fear quietly, efficiently, and without witnesses. Hargreave hadn't been the mastermind. He'd been the loudest, the most careless. Marcus met her at a bus terminal at 2 a.m. She wore a baseball cap pulled low and the look of someone who hadn't slept in weeks. Her name was Lena Ortiz, former public defender, fired after she refused to bury evidence in a plea deal tied to the trident symbol. They don't threaten you at first, she said. They help you, promotions, grants, safety. Then they remind you what happens if you say no. She slid a burner phone across the table. They're watching you, not because you're dangerous, because you're patient. Together, they followed the money. Shell nonprofits, private security contracts, judges who ran unopposed. Every path curved back to the same donors, the same closed rooms, the same promise, order at any cost. Marcus recorded everything, names, dates, patterns. He learned how power launders itself until it looks clean. Then the discipline committee made a mistake. They tried to recruit Marcus. A man in a tailored suit approached him outside a courthouse, spoke softly, like this was all a misunderstanding. You've proven your point, the man said. You won. Now let us make you whole. A job, offer, protection, a future where Eli's name would be honored in, scholarships funded by the same hands that killed him. Discipline keeps the city safe, the man added. Don't confuse justice with revenge. Marcus didn't answer. He smiled, and that's when they knew he'd never stop. The smear campaign began. Anonymous tips, old arrests twisted into lies, a leaked recording spliced to make him sound unhinged. Supporters wavered, sponsors pulled back. Even Lena warned him to slow down. They don't need to beat you, she said. They just need to make you unbelievable. Marcus waited. He'd learned the rhythm. Power rushes. Truth lingers. On the anniversary of Eli's death, Marcus released the archive. Not one video, hundreds, a timeline, faces blurred except for the badges, a map that connected the Trident to closed cases across 3 states. He didn't narrate. He didn't accuse. He let the pattern speak. By sunrise, federal investigators were knocking. Judges recused themselves. Bank accounts froze. The man in the suit resigned for personal reasons. The discipline committee denied everything until a second whistleblower stepped forward. Then a third. The machine buckled under the weight of its own silence. Arrests followed, quiet at first, then loud. A former mayor, 2 commissioners, a judge caught shredding files on a security feed he forgot still worked. The city watched, stunned, as the idea they'd been sold or collapsed into what it really was. Fear dressed as law. Marcus stood again on courthouse steps. The same place as before, but this time the air felt thin. Victory had a cost. Lena disappeared into witness protection. Marcus's name became a warning. Some called him a hero. Others called him a traitor. Both missed the point. That night, Marcus found a final message on the burner phone. Unknown number. 1 line. "You broke the branch, not the tree." Attached was a map, not of the city, but of the country. Tridents marked in red, dozens. Marcus looked at Eli's photo on the wall. He felt the old quiet settle in his chest, steady and unafraid. Justice had been served here. That much was true, but justice, he realized, wasn't an ending. It was an invitation, and somewhere, out there, the rest of the machine was watching him decide whether to accept it.